Dawson.
Thanks again, Walter. I'd like to thank you guys for allowing me to be here today. It's a miracle that I'm standing here today. No joke about it. I've worked super hard to get here, and I'd like to share a little bit of my story and how I got here today with you guys, and share a little bit about the American Indian Center that I worked on. As Walter was saying, I'm from Rocky Boys Indian Reservation. I grew up in a little 3-bedroom house that wasn't very big, and a lot of my cousins came over to live with us because they had a broken home, and we were fortunate enough to have both my mom and dad. And so our house became just a big center for us to all grow up in, and my mom and dad raised many of my cousins who are like my brothers. And when you're working with students, you got to understand native students that are from the reservation. There's many of us that are like that. And a lot of us have problems back home that we see these people as our family. And if your young cousin dies who's like your brother, you're going to go home no matter if there's a test or what's happening. And MSU has made a big contribution in understanding that Native students have a lot of problems back home, and many of us have families. We kind of do things, I don't want to say backwards, but different. A lot of us have kids, and then we come to school, and MSU has been tremendous in helping me. I first came here in 2010, and all my life I wanted to be a Bobcat. And my mom graduated from here, so I put all of my will and everything to come to Bozeman. I did one semester here, and I didn't do too well. I had just a lot of culture shock, and growing up on a res, I kind of thought that every white person hated me because Havre was just like that, and that's all I knew. We'd go to Havre, and people would follow you around. And after that semester ended, and I realized that I'm like, man, this is so much better than I thought. And I had high hopes, and I went back to Rocky Boy, and over the winter break, I got in a car wreck, and I killed my best friend. And it was tremendous to me. It broke me completely. And I was so lost of a person, and I went to jail, and I remember wanting to give up on life, and I went to bed one night when I ended up back in jail from drinking, and my cousin came seeing me in my dream, and he told me, I remember I was in the car that we wrecked in, and he come up to me and he told me, he's like, I need you to know I'm okay, and you need to move forward. And he gave me a hug, and I woke up that next day and was free. But the subsequent day, the FBI came, picked me up, and took me out of tribal jail, and I ended up serving 41 months in federal prison. And the whole time I was in prison, I had hopes of coming back to MSU, and I applied for readmission, and I was denied. I was pretty devastated. And, God opened up this door. I remember as I left prison, I made a promise to God that if He opened the door and showed me the way, that I'd follow. And some way, somehow, I ended up at MSU Great Falls, and Sandy Bauman and Dr. Wolf, Lou Card, those guys were tremendous to me in helping me, and I became a leader there. And I remember doing so much things, and just what the Montana University system has done to help me is awesome. I'm a testimony of what they are, and what you guys do is truly felt by many of us. I'm a person that when I put my mind to something, I won't stop. Working for the American Indian Student Center, when I heard we were supposed to have one, I got here in 2015, and that's all I ever talked about. You talked to me, the only thing I would ever talk about was the American Indian Student Center. And I worked hard to give people ideas and to bring energy, because one thing God showed me is if you put energy in, you get something out of it. Even the Bible says if you ask, you'll be granted it. All you got to do is ask. And I've made my way through MSU and talking to different people, talking to different departments and stringing things together, and they've just shown me nothing but support. And there were many times where I felt like I was going to quit school because I lost daycare and my wife couldn't work, and I didn't have very good paying job. I was making like $12 an hour and at the time, and it was pretty hard. I had to drop school a little bit to pick up the workload, and pretty soon I start falling behind, and then I got a notice that I was really far behind on rent, and I asked for some help, and it was given to me. It was awesome, and that allowed me to pass my classes through the last of the semester by just barely, and it was awesome. I'm ever so grateful for that. And it's been a tough, good road for me, and I just want to thank you guys for working and doing the things that you guys do, because your guys' hard work helps people like me. Thank you guys.